Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here today with none other than Mika Lammassaari from more Subita. How's it going, man?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Long time no see.
Long time no see. That's right. It's been over a year already.
I know we need to do these chats a little bit more frequently, but for some reason, the last year went by really quickly. And when we look at the calendar, the last time we were chatting was, I believe, was right after you came back from Japan from a tour there.
Yeah. Well, nothing spectacular hasn't happened in between, so nothing to report. So that's why
Well, there is some stuff to report. That's why we're chatting here today. There's definitely some stuff to report. I mean, quite a few things have happened in that year. Even before we talk about new, more Subita material, you announced that you were leaving Wolfheart. So you're concentrating all of your efforts on more Subita. So there has been quite a bit of things happening with you musically, even before we talk about the band.
Yeah, well, I would rather not go too deep into the Wolfheart discussion because that's kind of I laid everything on the table when I kind of made the announcement, so everybody can go read that statement themselves and see what actually happened. So that's I would rather not tell the same story again because it's kind of pointless. But yeah, those were good times with Wolfheart, and now we're continuing with more Subita and the sort of solo project, which I hope it's not only solo project in the future, but we'll see what happens.
So talking about a little bit about more Subita, it's no surprise to anybody who follows you guys on social media that you've been in the studio working on a new record. What can you tell us about the creative process behind this new album?
Good question. Well, I think the composition part of the album was a bit harder than before because I think obviously we want to take the band and the compositions and everything a step forward on every album, so we kind of felt like we really succeeded with the last album, so kind of trying to up the bar from there it's a difficult task. So from that standpoint, starting to write the new album is kind of, well, it's not much pressure, but still you are kind of only hoping for the best. But I think we did succeed in making actually a better album than before. And now that the core band has been together for such a long time already, so I think everything is even tighter than before. It's looking good, sounding good.
Was perhaps one of the challenges finding the time, or did you guys found that the challenges were really to work together in order to put out a record that surpassed the previous album?
No, it's just a bar for the actual compositions and the, like you said in the last album review, the album as a whole was a tight unit. Every song kind of had its own place. Like putting together an even more compact and even more sort of in your face and tight structured album. It's hard. it's a difficult task. But yeah, we just wanted to up the game once more, and it as we found out, it was hard for everybody, but the studio time and recording and that all that stuff went kind of easily. We sort of took a longer route than the last time because we did actually pre-production for the drums and for everything before we actually started recording the album. This we haven't done before, so that kind of took its own time, as obviously, but sort of made the whole album production process a bit longer. But all in all, I think it was necessary to really feel out the song structures and the compositions with our drummer, because usually I write the drum parts for him, but now when we did the pre-production, he could sort of already put his own twist onto the songs before we actually hit the studio. So I don't know. The production side was a bit longer process this time, but all in all, I think it was a similar process, of course, composing the album and writing the lyrics, but we sort of felt more pressure to really up the game. That's why I would say that it was a bit harder process this time.
Having now a full-time second guitarist on the band, does that give you a little bit of extra freedom? Not only freedom from what you need to do, but also freedom to expand musically on the tracks and do things that perhaps before you were a little bit more limited, having just you on guitar.
Yes, it's nice to bounce ideas together with the second guitarist, of course. When you're face to face in the rehearsal place and you go through the new songs and sort of fill out the riffs, it's not the same as you listen to them at home. When you have recorded everything yourself, it's kind of dull. But when you play the songs with the actual band and together with another guitarist, the songs really come to life. So it's easier to bounce ideas and ask somebody who plays guitar full time, what do you think about this riff? What do you think about this part? What do you think about this structure? It's easier like that. You feel more. Well, I do trust the whole band, of course, when I ask if the song is good enough for the album. But now, as we have the two guitarists, it's even more easier to bounce ideas.
It wasn't a surprise to me that you guys added a second guitarist. I mean, he had been with you guys for a while on tours, playing with you guys live. At what point in time did you know that this was the decision you had to make going into the next record, that adding a second guitarist was going to be important for the band?
Well, to be honest, we knew a long time ago that Juho was our guy, but we just wanted to wait for the right moment to release the info, and we knew he was 100% in the group and in the music and in everything. He's really a enthusiastic guy altogether, and he's like we stated in the newsletter, he's really on and off stage musically and in music production way, in everything that's considered to be sort of what you do outside of the music itself in a band. Mm-hmm. Is really pro in every side of the being a band member. So it's a no-brainer. He has to be in the band for us to be able to succeed in what we do.
What can fans expect from this album musically? Is it going to be heavier? Is it going to be similar in sound? Are you guys taking perhaps a road less traveled with this one? What can fans expect from the finished sound?
There is a few surprises. I'm pretty sure a couple tracks may surprise people, but I think all in all it's a good combination between Degeneration and Into the Pitch Black. I think it's a bit. I would say it's a bit heavier. It's a bit heavier album with a couple of tracks they kind of resemble the sound of the previous album, or the one before it, Degeneration, which didn't have as much melody as the last album had. So I think it's a good combination of those two albums, of our latest two albums.
Having only more Subita on your plate right now musically, I know you have a very busy life outside of music with your family, your work, school, all of that stuff. You're balancing a lot of, you're juggling a lot of balls in the air. But now having I said it in the air, but now having only more Subita on your plate, did that really help you with this record? Do you feel that perhaps the record will benefit from having your focus 100% musically? You're musically focused on this album.
Well, I've always been a very creative person. I really don't think that Wolfheart in any case, in any point, in any time, did hinder the band in any way. No. Quite the opposite, to be honest, because Tuomas really helped the band. He released one of our albums. Mm-hmm. He got good gigs for us, and Wolfheart and my, being part in Wolfheart really did only positive for more Subita, to be honest. And but obviously musically, I feel like focusing on more Subita is best for the band and best for the music, because I really believe that we surpassed musically where we were in the last album. I think we really took a step forward with this new album, and I wouldn't say it's because I left Wolfheart or any other decision that has been made, but that might of course affect it. But obviously time management is a big question when you have several bands, and I did have 3 bands at best when I was also in Eternal Tears of Sorrow, although the band wasn't active. But yeah, I think musically it's not hard for me, at least, to focus on many things at the same time. But then again, I hope the music and the band benefits from me focusing more onto the band, even though I don't necessarily feel that it has affected my compositions or my productivity in any way. But I just felt with Wolfheart, I just felt the time had come, and that's it. It wasn't because I wanted more time for more Subita or because I had wanted more time for anything else. I just felt it had to end because I had nothing more to give, and somebody else would give the band more, would be better band member in that way, would have something more to offer. That's the only reason. But again, let's not go to
let's not go there.
Yeah, it's easy to kind of suck into that discussion because there's many sides to it. But I think the band thinks it's better, and I hope the band benefits from me having more time for the band. But in music production way, on being what comes to my productivity, it's not affecting that much, I don't think.
Well, the fans will be the judges based on the record once it comes out.
Yeah, it's total shit. It's total bullshit. You should rejoin Wolfheart because this album sucks ass, man.
And speaking of that, well, not that specifically, but you guys are releasing this album with Out of Line Music. You guys signed with a new label. I know that last year when you guys signed with them, they released a compilation of your records as a new release. It had some extra bonus tracks and everything like that. Having a label, that bigger label, supporting you guys with this release, did that change things for you?
Well, of course, there's a bit more financial support and support in well, it's hard to say because we haven't released anything new, any new music yet. But I think there's more support in every single aspect what comes to releasing music. But I hope for the best. Everything has gone really smoothly thus far, so really looking forward to the album release and the label really getting behind the band and supporting the band and taking everything a step further.
Do you have a date or at least a window? I don't want to put you on the spot and giving us a date if that's not something you're comfortable with, but to at least have a window of time when fans can expect a new album to be out?
I do. It's gonna be the first single, and the video will be released next month, 19th of next month, 19th of
June.
June. Yes.
June. It was still in May, yes. So it's June. Okay.
Yes. I'm not good in English.
No, and let's face it, with the quarantine, every month is the same.
Yeah, that's right. Although the sun is shining at the moment, so it's not winter, I know that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we just had snow a couple of days ago, and now it's like 20 degrees, so go figure. I mean, it's the weather's all over the place. So, 19th of June, you guys are releasing the first single.
Yes. The single is called Sick. And the release date is 19th of June. And we're going to release a video also for that. And there is 2 more music videos in the works. One is nearly finished. We're just waiting for the audio to be mastered for it. Same thing with the 3rd video. So there's a lot of stuff happening behind the curtains at the moment. So, but we are looking forward to releasing the album quite near in the near future.
Will you guys announce the date at the time of the release of the single, or are you going to release the single and then later on announce the actual date of the album release?
Ooh, well, that's a good question.
That's why I asked.
Good question. That's why. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain yet, so I would rather not open up that that answer anymore. But yeah, looking to release the album in the near future, in at least pretty soon after the summer. But there will be 3 singles coming soon.
All right, so the singles will hit before the album comes out. Is that the plan?
Probably, maybe.
Okay. Maybe. At least we know one of them is coming out June 19th. So that's,
at least
that's something.
There might be 2 singles before the album comes out.
All right,
maybe 3. Maybe. At least 2.
One for sure.
Yeah.
One we already know the date, so there's one we know for sure. Are you concerned with releasing the album? I know you're not releasing the album tomorrow or the next week or the next month, but with this uncertainty that surrounds us with the coronavirus, with festival season for the whole summer is almost wiped out, and still there's not a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. Are you concerned with being able to promote the album, to go out and play live shows once the album comes out, or you think that things will look brighter then, and you'll be able to hit the road with the boys and do some shows?
Of course, we're looking forward to playing live shows when the album is out later this year, but we'll see what happens. We are actually negotiating about one virtual gig at the moment, but it's not release-free info yet. So, but during the summer, there's a possibility that we do one virtual show as well. Maybe play one new song. We'll see. And we are working with, obviously, Out of Line Music has their own Oh no, booking agency, but we're also working with Loose Mind Productions, booking shows for the album promotion tour. So we hope they will actually happen, and the virus stuff doesn't mess everything up. But it's in the plans. Yeah.
The live stream show that you guys are planning on doing, it's a different animal because you're playing in front of nobody, but at the same time, people are watching. So it's a kind of weird dynamic that there's like thousands of people watching you, but there's nobody in front of you besides the dude with the camera.
Who couldn't care less?
It takes a different mindset, right? Like I'm sure you have to approach that kind of show differently. Is that something that worries you, or you take it almost like a jam session and you just go for it?
You just haven't seen any gigs in the northern Finland. It's similar. There's only one dude watching the show. We are totally used to it. It's no big deal.
So having your show with one guy for you, it's like, it's already double what we normally.
You have to realize we've been together since '99 or the 2000. So there's been lots of different situations and different kind of shows and little venues and not too much audiences in our first shows. Of course, nowadays it's a little bit better, but then again, I think we've been in this too long not to, I don't think that any live situation would intimidate us anymore. I would think we could handle one cameraman. Of course, the dynamics is, I'm not that big of a fan of watching the stream shows because
have you seen a few?
A couple ones, yeah, but none of my all-time favorite bands have performed virtual gigs. So, but I can see the point. Bands have to promote the stuff in some sort of way. So it's a good way to give something to the fans at least and promote the new music, and it's a good thing all in all. But yeah, we'll see. At least we get to rehearse with the band and kind of show our new stuff to the audience. At least if we don't get to play the live shows, or if we get to play the virtual gig during this summer, we'll see. It's a different sort of beast. I'm sure. And having sort of the live sound on your ears, like the actual live sound, it's gonna be terrible for the sound engineer. He's gonna have so much crap, coming towards him if the sound sucks. And probably it has something to do with the band performance as well, but mostly the sound engineer. So we'll see what happens. At least I know there will be a good sound guy doing the virtual gig if we get to play it.
That's good. With the current situation the way it is, with like we were talking about, like live stream shows and things like that, you have a new album that's going to be coming out, you have singles coming out, music videos coming out. Are you planning on doing like some guitar playthroughs, things like that? Because fans seem to really enjoy those, and they're becoming super popular during this quarantine with a lot of bands releasing playthroughs, and everybody loves to see you playing guitar. So are you willing to put the spotlight on you and just sit there in the studio and just jam on your guitar?
Why not? But I'm really a fan of the live performance videos. I sort of enjoy more those guitar playing videos where you have the camera audio only, which is the raw sound of the playing, and not fully produced, like music video style playthrough, because those really don't give that much for me. I want to hear like errors in the playing. I want to hear people messing up. Let me take that again. Oh shit! I can't play my own solo and stuff like that. I like that. I like that more. But yeah, for sure. If there's resources, we would be for sure would be up for it. I've tried to upload something on my Instagram account and just to sort of
you're struggling.
Sort of tell that I'm still alive and playing, kicking, but yeah, there has been some inquiries about playthrough videos and giving taps out. So would be nice, of course. We'll see if it will become reality.
I have to ask you, outside of more Subita, I want to finish off with a question about more Subita, but before we finish off, I have to ask you about your solo work. You mentioned earlier that perhaps it won't be just solo, that it'll go beyond that. What are your plans with what you have in hands right now? I know you've released some stuff, but how do you see it going forward?
Do you mean obligatory human destruction?
Yes.
Well, I'm negotiating about with one German label about releasing the album, at least. Let me regroup my thoughts about this. What should I what should I tell? Well, I would probably like there to be an actual band, and we are shooting a music video soon for one track of the album. You have heard it. It's called Holy Man.
Yeah, I have the whole album.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough that you sent it to me, so I got to listen to it. Oh man, you sent it to me like a couple of maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago, something like that. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, at least somebody has heard it, other than me.
Yeah, well, I heard it more than once, so if that counts, maybe it counts as multiple times or multiple people listening to it.
The stupid thing behind that band is that I actually played most of the songs for more Subita before we started recording Into the Pitch Black, and I was sort of trying to negotiate with the guys to take a little bit more aggressive route with the album, but it didn't go well.
You got outvoted. You got outvoted by the rest of the game.
So I had to release it in some other format, and here comes obligatory human destruction. It's just songs are ready to be released, so why wouldn't I release them in some format?
I honestly, when you sent it to me and I listened to it, I was surprised on how heavy and how brutal it is. Not just musically, but even vocally. It's a very aggressive album, and I really liked it. It was just I was not expecting that. So when I first hit play, I was like, "Whoa, this is heavy. This is really heavy." So it was a nice surprise. It plays really well. It's a great record.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, it was supposed to be as heavy as I could get, but yeah, I would love to form some sort of group. I have to form a group for the music video at least. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm looking forward to releasing the music video and releasing the album during this year at least. But there is negotiations ongoing as we speak. So we'll see what happens with that. But I hope the album sees daylight within this year.
Yeah, me too. That's kind of where I wanted to get with this. I hope I hope it's not something that you're going to keep in your drawer and keep it at home just for yourself.
It's progressing. Progress is happening. We're getting there, but of course, more Subita is number one. But we are doing stuff, behind the curtains as well for obligatory human destruction. Okay, so things are moving forward.
All right. So on that note, let me finish it off our chat with one question about more Subita. I could not sit down with you talk about an upcoming more Subita album and not ask you this question, but I really wanted to save the best for last.
Okay.
So, are you?
Is it about donuts?
It looks like you're getting ready.
Yeah, I am.
So, are we going to get cowbell on this record?
Yes.
At least a little bit.
There is definitely cowbell on the songs that we recorded. What?
But
if it's on the album, I'm not 100% sure yet. We recorded, was it 5 or 6 tracks of cowbell on one of the songs, which is one of the songs that was actually inspired by Juho, our new guitar player. And Ville came up with the C section, the C part drums before I actually wrote the riff. And there is a cowbell, a loud cowbell to be exact.
Oh, wow.
But if it's going to be on the album, maybe as a hidden track. You haven't seen those in a while.
Yeah, I know. Those were sick when
Yes.
you let the CD play after the last song. You let the CD play, and then after 2 or 3 minutes, another song would pop in. You don't see those anymore.
No, because the listening span is kind of short nowadays. You sort of decide whether the song is good or not in the first 10 seconds or 15 seconds. Skip. Pretty good. Skip.
I feel like this track started with 100% cowbell, and every time you guys went through the production, you kept reducing the cowbell out of the track. By the time it's the final recording, there's like 0.01% cowbell left on the song.
Yes, we are doing the ABBA stuff in the recordings. When we actually record the album, we're going to introduce cowbell to all the recorded tracks, and then afterwards we're gonna reintroduce cowbells with a different phase, with the phase shift. So all the cowbell will be erased. I'm sorry. We can record it, but we will eliminate it.
Yeah, exactly. You recorded just so that you could say that there was cowbell on the record, and then you eliminate it afterwards because you realized that it didn't really do what you wanted it to do. Well, I really hope that at least 1% of cowbell remains, because I really feel for you guys to take the next step. Some cowbell is definitely required, at least on one song.
I know, but it's not cowbell played by Petro. So
yeah, that's true.
It's never gonna be the same without you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I can. There is a cowbell on every single song, because you know why? Because our drummer click track is a cowbell, so you can kind of hear it. It is there because he blasts his headphones so loud while recording. It must come out of the overheads and out of the room mic. So there is cowbell on every single track, but yet again, it's not played Petro. It's not the same.
So let's do a deal. If you guys remove all the cowbell from that track, the next time that I'm in Finland and I attend one of your shows, you guys play that song and I do the cowbell on stage just for that song.
Oh, we can put cowbell in on your favorite part of the album. Let's do that.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, it's a deal.
We have a deal. We have a deal. All right. I feel like I at least achieved something in the name of those that love cowbell as much as I do. So I feel like we've gotten somewhere.
That's right. Future is coming.
And the future is bright. All right, Mika. Thank you very much for your time today. It was an absolute pleasure chatting with you as always. And I'll be looking forward to that new single so that we can check it out on the channel.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Thanks very much, man.
Thank you. Stay safe and take care of you and your family.
Likewise.